3 chances to spoil others' run-ins, grab a place in next season's Champions Cup, to be disruptors in chief. The Chiefs keen to strengthen their grip on the top 4 and the playoffs, none more so than David Jenkins, and he's gathering the kick-off acrobatically. Quins in the familiar colours, Chiefs all in white today.
No, use it.
Stephen Varney with the first kick. First kick as a 25-year-old, turns 25 today. Varney, Hooper there. Seo, Nori keeping it going, and Ikitau played so well a week ago against Bath. Slade's pass behind Paul Brown-Bampo.
Put the ball down, put it down.
The first penalty is a Harlequins one. Ben Kay, afternoon, Benny.
Afternoon, Nick.
13.
It's just one of those
On feet, please.
little bits of inaccuracy that gives the team the opportunity bang after a really good start. The take was superb. What Exeter have been very good, particularly last week against Bath, is that box kicking game. They've got really good chasers. They secure the ball back, and then as they go to the far touchline, one error, give away the penalty, and now they're back into defence. So
Quins.
This game is still about not making mistakes at key times. Yes, you've got to push the envelope, but just basic skills of accuracy make a huge difference to how a team starts the game and the momentum they can build.
First throwing test for Sam Riley.
Not competing.
I think it was straight, but you heard what Matthew Carley had to say.
In 5.
Chiefs didn't get up, so it is still Harlequins' ball, and Riley has it. Cameron Anderson not far away, and Lucas Friday, the scrum half. Chop ball back inside, Friday, Smith.
Backwards, play on, backwards.
They're allowed to go again.
Thank you.
This is Jack Kenningham. And then Bradley with the pass. Benson once again giving it a blast. This is the hooker, Will Hobson. Several heavy blows in a row from Harlequins. Chandler Cunningham South the next, but Chiefs have won it back from Cunningham South.
I think it was Skinner, Nick, got his hand in, used his body weight to spin through the tackle and turn it over. That's a big plus point from an energy point of view for the Chiefs.
Please, and keep it a contest.
Because Quins are playing at a real high tempo. Friday getting the ball away like a rocket from the base.
Stephen, 5 seconds means 5 seconds. Don't push the limit, okay? Well, it's very difficult if it gets to the limit. Just be careful pulling that extra or 2 extra players in. Exeter, that's fine.
Cunningham South might say his knees were already down when it was ripped off him, but
thank you.
Really good strength in the tackle from Exeter. The speed, as you said, of Friday and how he pushed Marcus Smith and others wide. Where Exeter seemed to have the advantage was when it came back tight in the one-on-one tackles.
Heavy shove forward from Zach Carr, and almost through the hole, Harlequins.
Right, not now,
Friday not able to complete the link.
Use it. Use it.
Barney up into the smoke that still hangs above the stadium.
Good contest back with my Quins.
Brown-Bampo working hard to turn this ball back towards the Chiefs, but it's going to be a tough job to do that.
Said how good Exeter's box kicking game and chase was. Part of the reason for the improvement there is Danny Kerr admiring
Tried to get the right one up.
the actual kicking game of Stephen Varney, so accurate in the warm-up.
The catching not bad either.
Use it.
Harvey Skinner to Scott Seo.
Use it.
That's a penalty, that's the right decision.
Yeah, several players in front of the ball not looking to play the ball. They need to clear the area.
I don't need to explain it, Matthew Colley's just done it for us. You've got to get out of the way there.
Just there, Henry.
Too many players meandering
when
back.
When you're in attack and you're the supporting player, please don't push players into your own team into contact, okay?
Just tempting
in attack,
those
when you're
Exeter
supporting,
wingers
don't push them
to charge
into
onto
contact.
it. Had he not blocked him, Brown Bampo's running onto this and carrying on going.
Guys, just outside the line. Exeter, 6.
What a kick from Slade this is. 5 metres out now.
Maul in the 5.
Zambanin's catch.
One stop.
First time the
advantage.
Chiefs have launched an exploration of Harlequins 22. And they've earned the penalty. Skinner, kick will lead to the try. Campbell, Riddle. 100% efficiency. First time they've been that close to the try line, and look what they've just done.
Well, the line-out setup's good, but Delgado just doesn't need to come in and give that penalty. They sweep to the side, they're a little bit narrow. Benson gets dragged right in. And this time, because of the penalty given,
on the 15.
Just allows
15,
Harvey Skinner to pick his spot. Shows a little pump pass to send that first defender, and then it's on the money, but acres of space for Riddle out there.
Defensively, it's very difficult when you're in that situation, but what you've got to do is number off properly, like you said, Ben. I just thought Benson could have just gone a little bit wider. You've got to back your own defence, man on man. I know it's not easy, but if you double up on the second attacker, sorry, you concede 5.
It is only 5, but it's his 16th try of the season.
Normally that would have got you the title.
Manny Feo-Woboso, by the way, back on the bench today, having recovered from his head collision against Ulster in the Challenge Cup, so he's back at a critical time towards the end of the season.
Harlequins might choose to stop kicking it there now. 2 really good takes from Daft Jenkins. Might look to explore another option.
Timing's good.
Go back to that restart in a minute, Benny. That's not happening by chance. Clubs give that a lot of thought during the week, where it's going to go, who they're going to target. As Marcus Smith goes aerial and high. Jack Carr wasn't far away for Harlequins, but it's Varney and the Chiefs and Norrie.
Quins, no. Use it.
Brown Bampo again. Oh, he's caught it all on his own. So good at that job. This is Chinza. 7 today, 6, 7 and 8. Hooper, Chinza, Vincent. Same trio that did such a good job last Sunday against the champions. Brown Bampo offering that threat on the right. Powerful threat, determined he wouldn't be stopped. Slade, ball inside, and on his 25th birthday, Stephen Varney.
What a try this is. All about power and pace from Brown Bampo. I think Lucas Franey just finds himself getting pulled forward a little bit, that has to backtrack to make the tackle, but that man's power, just immense. Look at Lucas on the outside, he goes forward, so now he's got to back off. He's long in the tackle, gets fended, and then bang, sits the defence down, ball on the inside, supporting scrum half, over they go, in complete control. Now you get asked big questions if you're a Quins player. You front up, you say you're going to come here and entertain, but you've got to put your body on the line and stop these guys because they're physically in front of you.
Yeah, I know.
How do they react?
There's certain players that when you play with them, you almost know they're going to win that collision. So your support line's slightly different. If you watched there, as Brown Bampo goes round Friday, there's already 3 white shirts in front of the defensive line because they've just gambled on the fact he's going to make that break. And that means there's nothing he can do to recover defensively. As he goes through, look at the next 3 shirts that come into view. Henry Slade, Varney's in there, and they've already beaten that defensive line.
We were underlining in the pre-game show just what a first season back in the Gallagher PREM Stephen Varney's had. Time in France last season with Van in Pro D2. He's loving life.
I just struggle to see why Harlequins are still kicking off there, because that's 3 easy-ish wins now, but you know how good the box kicking game is. So they're having real problems at the back on the box kick, yet you're giving them the platform to set it up.
Anderson palmed it back to now the likes of Riley to ask a few questions, and Smith maybe more significantly. So too Bradley, kicked through by Murley. Oh, beautifully picked up by the zippy, nippy scrum half.
It's fabulous that from Varney. The pace that he comes onto the ball, goes past the cover, and then gets that kick 60 metres down the field. Took a lot of skill. Here we go. Who wants to tackle these quad muscles now?
A slightly leaner threat of Riddle. Skinner pings it through, but gathered by another Cameron Anderson over the head of Brown Bampo. Ikitau stopped where he was given the ball. Jack Kenningham was there quickly. Yosefa Scott.
Use it.
The game he had last week, Josh Yosefa Scott.
Jamie Benson doesn't reach him in the end. It's Cameron Anderson who gets there first. Smith, Murley is the option. Very little room. Ikitau absolutely slammed the door in the end. And then picked up through the middle goes a galloping Dombrandt. That looked a mite forwards maybe. It's the hooker going through. And Riley scores, but it's a try that comes with questions.
Yeah, a lot of them there. I mean, it's a long way forward from up here. Well, we're a long way away, but look, wonderful break by Dombrandt through the middle, and I think that's where actually Quins can get quite a lot of benefit through the breakdown. We won't see from this angle, might see the shape of his hands, but this will tell us that's a mile forward.
From 8.
Okay, TMO check. We're going to check the last pass to see if it's forward.
Because it's given, it's going to have to be clear, but to me this looks pretty clear. He is running off at an angle and gets tackled, so falls backwards slightly.
Okay, the ball is
But that's forward.
hands forwards. It will be no try, and the scrum to Exeter.
He is one of the very best in the league at that initial break, Dombrandt, isn't he? Reads the game so well, which means he's always in the right place for things, but also he reads what the defence is doing, what those in and around have switched off and started looking at, where he can just pick and go and through the middle himself. And good deception on it, good delay, unfortunately for Harlequins and for him. The last pass just
give each other the space that's required.
Came out all wrong.
Thomas Quinn scrum with a couple of very big young players in Zach Carr and Elliot Williams providing the thrust from the second row. Jason Gilmore, true to his word over these final weeks of the season, he's picking players that he thinks will play a bigger part next season. He's having a look at them now, those who've maybe not had their opportunity so far this season, but he will trust them to do the job this time next year. However, it's a penalty against Will Hobson.
Luced stepped out.
I think the call came in from Christoph Ridley on the far side. Hobson just trying to run around the outside. Good indicator of that actually happening is that Chandler Cunningham South ended up almost out of control, spinning around the outside. He would have been the blindside flanker.
Quins.
Trying to drive through Hobson. See the hips are already out.
Nice,
and then he almost just leads with that left hip rather than driving straight first.
Timing's fine.
Varney. Slade holds it up for Ollie Woodburn, shaking off the tightish hamstring that he was struggling with a little bit at the start of the week. Hobson tackling Seo.
Shoulder.
Skinner.
Thank you, 3.
Varney, Slade, Jenkins.
Oh, you're off your feet.
Exeter still 2 tries to the good. The only tries for Campbell Riddle, Stephen Varney.
Keep playing, Exeter.
Yosefa Scott. Varney, Skinner. This is Norrie. Just enjoy how well, efficiently Chiefs recycle the ball these days. The speed of the recycle, the way they get bodies over the ball. Varney dished up on a plate.
Well, Baxter was saying this before the game, wasn't he? Let's hold on to possession, go through the phases. They've been through how many now? Quite a lot, 12 around the halfway line, just waiting for the chance and the break. And it usually comes from their X-factor players like Brown Bampo.
Play scrum advantage. Keep going, Quins. Keep going.
Gets snuffed out there, but interesting. Brown
Just a knock on.
and Cam Riddle on the same side of the field, trying to
Advantage
overload
over
the attacking channel with pace.
Use it.
Something that the French have been doing for a couple of years.
Having gone through a dozen or so phases, Varney gives it the boot. Brown Bampo, as he always is, tries to turn it into a good kick, but Varney has to go back to restart things inside his own 22.
Ball is live, play on.
Still we go.
Thank you, all on.
With Anderson. Luke Northmore suggesting that Anderson might kick it into that far right-hand corner. Anderson instead buys a ticket straight through the middle. Smith, and then Cunningham South, and Dombrant on hand. And then the little scrum half coming away with it, and Woodburn has done brilliantly to snuff out that
try
threat.
saver. What a read.
Not with your hands, he went past the ball first. You went past on the floor first. Use it.
Couple of good moments for Cunningham South. He's made a big tackle to stop Exeter's attack, and then lovely little break. That's what they need, Harlequins.
Use it.
Him delivering more and more of that.
No, you're in front of the back foot, thank you.
But Exeter saved by a brilliant intervention by Ollie Woodburn.
On the line, on the line. Number 5.
Nice little interplay.
Thanks, Scott.
Looks to the outside, back inside, great offload, lovely hands. And then here, looks like it's going to be lifted, but Woodburn's read it. Steps into the channel, pinches the ball.
Right, we're good.
Johnson's tackle was excellent, wasn't it?
In we come.
On Friday, getting back there, long arms, brings him down. Just enables Woodburn then to back his inside man so he can go for the ball.
Zamberin made sure that that was very messy, and in the end, Devon ball.
No, 7, get out, get out, get out.
Another one of those players who's really added so much weight to the Gallagher PREM this season. Freshly arrived at the start of it, the Italian Andrea Zamberin. Anderson going backwards under a lot of pressure. Ball directed back towards Smith and Benson.
Wait. Hold, thank you.
Quins have been doing that, Nick. They've been letting the wingers chase the kick back and catch it themselves, and leaving Benson to pick up the crumbs. And they've actually retained a lot more of those kicks than Exeter have so far.
Wait, thank you.
Oh.
About there, John.
Well, Harlequins have been playing Exeter for exactly 100 minutes now. Actually 99 if we're going to be precise, and they still haven't scored a point against them. It was 38-0. They were nilled in Devon back in October. And they're being nilled here in the first quarter at the Allianz Stadium.
Just looking for some of the reasons why Exeter have improved, as we see their coaching staff there. Dave Walder's done a really good job with the attack, but Rob Baxter, I think, has had a big impact coming back into that sort of more front right line role. And they've been winning a lot more of the first touches, the balls that go down on the floor. They did it against Bath last week. Seem much more hungrier, much more energy to their defence.
The defence led by Hayden Thomas these days. It's a smallish coaching team, but it is beautifully formed. The likes of Baxter, Walder in attack, Ross McMillan, the forwards, Hayden Thomas.
Unnecessary.
Smith's kick. Brown Bampo deflected back deliberately towards his fullback Woodburn.
Advantage. I'll give you a chance to turn it over. Did you someone say not rolling? No, them, not me. Sorry, I thought it was you. I was talking to one of your players. He took my attention, so I'm sorry. Lucas. Yeah, especially if he gets up.
Harlequins' first line-out drive was pretty successful. I want Marcus Smith to stick this right into the corner. Brown Bampo is the target.
I can see. Let me judge it.
That's about as good as he could got it.
How many, guys? 6?
This is the defence that Harlequins are trying to puncture today, and unsuccessfully back in October.
Has been particularly good in their own red zone as well, the Chiefs this year.
One more big test. Sam Riley's throw. Quinn's attacking line out. Brought down by Cunningham South.
In 5.
Hooper in there, doing what he can to disrupt in a wallaby way.
Now get
He's
onside,
trying to get his left arm over, but he's being left behind by the ball. However, here goes Bradley. Picked up by Kenningham. A Twickenham try for Big Jack.
The patience is excellent here. Firstly, it looked like Exeter had stopped the drive, and then as they broke out, the realisation from Kenningham that Exeter had had to fight so hard to stop that initial bust, that they were going to be slowed back into position on the blind side. A lot of players would have tried to pick and go the same way. There's the initial stop, and then look, the overfold, expecting the pick and go towards the posts. Kenningham just makes sure he's accurate, eyes down to the ball, and then accelerates straight through. No one could recover from the line-out drive defence and get back into that guard position.
Smith's kick, as it was from hand, very good. And Harlequins arrive at their own party.
Got a sense that they needed to, Nick, didn't they? Another score here for the Chiefs. Taking them out to 19-point leads would have been almost catastrophic for the Quins, but now they're back in the fight. I think they need to get a little bit of niggle into this game to get a bit more physicality and energy into their own play.
Taken in.
Update from Wembley, by the way, midway through the second half of the FA Cup final. Still Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. A match you can watch across on TNT 1. You've got 2 screens, of course. You can watch both Twickenham and Wembley at the same time. Straddle the capital.
Just go to the line. Exeter. 5.
You've got 2 screens, Nick, have you?
I've got several, Oz.
Big dog.
Big dog.
Any of them got remote control yet?
No, all of them push button.
One's got one of those with a wire coming out.
Varney to Skinner, beyond Hooper. Ikitau just popping it up, and here goes Woodburn, and he's got Riddle to the left. He was derailed by Benson, and now the battle for the ball on the floor looks like it'll be won by the Londoners.
Use it.
Just a bit inaccurate, that, wasn't it?
Alex, play the ball, thank you.
Woodburn needed to hold slightly longer, give Riddle a better chance, and then his knee caught the ball, which knocked it on, but they've got away with it, won a penalty.
They really have. He could have kept running a little bit longer here, Woodburn. I think it possibly would have been a try. Not sure whether the cover would have got to Woodburn before the decision to make the pass outside, but...
How many guys if you go into the line out, do we know?
We've still got the chance, like you said here, but the position of this play is really good. Ball out the back.
On the line, Quinn.
Slade's ball out in front of Woodburn. He can keep going, keep running, keep running. He's got to make Benson bite into him. Just gives Riddle the ball way too early.
Nick Evans has got his headphones on, but he'll much rather watch what's happening here than have a chat with us, so we'll come to Nick in a minute. And that's nicely done, and Varney to Norrie, who stretches. Oh, he scored. Again, getting through the defence, and the whoops are West Country whoops.
There is nothing more Harlequins could have done to defend that, but it's just about knowing where a team's going to put their defensive players, so they know that they're going to try and create a one-on-one between Norrie and Harlequin's smallest defender, lightest defender. Friday does his job, he gets there, but he's just not going to have the ballast to stop a front rower running over the top, and it's a really good finish. Excellent attempt from the 9 to stop him, but that is a brilliantly worked try, because even if they mark it, they've created an opportunity of a one-on-one between a big player and the smallest player on the opposition's defence.
Slade's conversion, no. So Nick Evans, what is uppermost in your mind at the moment? What are you writing down? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, look, I think for us, obviously, you can really clear tactic by Exeter. They kick the most bombs in the league. I think that transition battle is going to be the winning and losing of this game at the moment. They've probably nicked us in terms of the aerial battle and creating transitions on their side of the ball. We've dealt with it for the most part, but that's going to be a big part of that, and obviously taking the opportunities when we get down into that 22. I think if we can keep the ball in play, I think there's an opportunity around with their tight four. They're a big pack, and if we can move them around, I'd like to see us just moving the point of attack a little bit more, and if we can just stretch their defensive line a little bit more.
Give us an idea, Nick, as to what you talked about this week to diffuse those high kicks, and the way you might use Jamie Benton as the guy to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, you've probably seen a tactic here. I think a lot of teams are using now the closer ball receivers taking the ball, and then they've got you'll probably see it here actually. They're going to kick it out. But you know, Cameron Anderson there, he's looking to take the ball in that situation there, and looking if we can escape out of that opportunity as much as we can.
And is he looking to catch that, or just deflect it back your way?
Depending on the scenario, mate. So yeah, if he's clean and he can catch it, then he'll look to catch it. If not, then he's looking to get it back to our player in behind position.
Brilliant. Cheers, Nick.
No worries.
Jamie Benson did so well there, having been caught with the ball. Goes to ground with a tackle, releases, gets straight back up, and buys enough time for his support to get there.
Chinza goes in with the tackle. Apologies for the language. Friday. Give that plenty of lard. Oh, and then it's whacked back by Anderson. Exactly what Nick was just talking about with us, but it's Exeter and Youssefa Scott. He's getting used to delivering those.
He loves it, doesn't he? That's a penalty.
Zach Carr found himself in the wrong position, frustratingly, and Chiefs penalty.
I know it's not deliberate, he's slightly fortunate there, because that's a really good attacking opportunity for the Chiefs. Had all their back line running with momentum into that right-hand side of the field. Lovely little break.
It's Friday on the tackle again, isn't it? I think when you aren't the biggest of nines and you're in that situation, like you saw when he's 2 meters out from his line, you don't tackle like you're told to tackle. You'll tackle how you stop players from playing. And too often nines, you're told you've got to go low, you've got to drop people, you've got to win the collision. But if you're not going to win the collision, just stop something. Clamp onto the ball, leg sweep them, get them to the ground. There's different ways to tackle if you're not that big. And you're less likely to get hurt.
What did you do?
I'd love to leg sweep.
Yours.
Grab him round the collar and kick the legs away. Strictly speaking, not legal, but they come down very fast.
Effective, yeah. Anyway, Vincent, Chiefs off in search of a fourth, and that bonus point that really will heat things up in the chase for the top four, putting pressure on Saracens, who play Gloucester in the evening kickoff with us on TNT2. Zambanin wrestling away to get it back on the white side. Riddle. Jenkins, the captain. Hooper. Skinner finds Slade in isolation and then whipped away. There's Bryn Bradley and co coming in with the tackles and the hands and the fingers.
He's a physical specimen, isn't he, Bradley?
Extra line out of Quinn's last.
Carried really well from up the middle. Huge shoes to fill in that 12 shirt for them after recent season with Esterhazen, but this is a good shot. Steps on the inside.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's correct.
Called up by Wales for the first time this week. He's part of
Stay there, Quinn, stay there.
the wider 48-man squad for the summer tests. July tests against Fiji and Argentina and South Africa. May well see him here again. Wales playing a non-cap match against the Barbarians before they head off on tour. Varney, Ikitau, Skinner, Woodburn, Brown Bampo was the option away to the right, but Chiefs choose to reset. This big open side away to their left-hand side.
Onside.
Tempting little blind side away on the right, but for the meantime it is David Jenkins. He'll be part of that Wales training squad. Ikitau.
On the body, not the ball.
Hooper. Riddle.
Same again.
Wingers coming together.
Onside.
Chinza. Nori, Exeter's latest try scorer, the scorer of their third.
That one. I was going to give.
That was Kenningham over the top, but it's another try for the Wallaby. Len Ikitau, he might have done himself some mischief here, scrambling over. Hope that that isn't long-term. What is permanent is Chiefs' bonus point for their fourth try, scored by the Wallaby centre.
Well, the hard line from Ikitau.
I know.
But I think it's Kenningham just asking the question as to whether he can go in and compete here. Doesn't get into the guard position. That causes a little bit of confusion. One out from him. And the guard and bodyguard slow to get themselves into position. Ikitau spots it and just runs hard back, that aggressive line back towards the ball. And by the time the heads come up, he's already through.
I didn't know you were here today.
He seems okay, Ikitau, thankfully. But just, I think this is going to be a pivotal area in the running towards the end of the season. Sides that get loose either side of the ruck. You look in that situation there. Carr's got to be more protected. He's a really big defender, not that mobile compared to others, but there's 3 meters either side of him within 3 meters of the ruck. So anyone who picks a blindside angle like Ikitau does, look, he's there by himself as a defender. How's he supposed to take anybody? And we're seeing sides get looser and looser around the breakdown, and I think with the way that a lot of these nines are playing in the top four, I think it will be decisive as the season ends.
Okay, 11 made the tackle. That's a tackle now. Right, use it.
Brown Bampo again. Perennial chaser of kicks.
Good contest ball available. Quinn side. Use it.
Antoine Semenyo, by the way, has just scored for Manchester City. They lead in the FA Cup final across the way at Wembley.
You missed that one.
Follow that on TNT1. Varney. And now Woodburn. Brown Bampo.
I think this is quite a harsh one, actually. I think Brown Bampo's trying to get out of the way, and Murley's leaning into him cleverly. I'm not saying he buys the penalty, but if you're trying to get out of the catching zone and trying to run away from it, just look at it now. It's a different one. There's the early shot. Oh, that is a bit risky, isn't it? I think that head-on head has been cleared already.
How many? 6.
Let's just confirm what this score means to the top of the Gallagher PREM. Exeter moving above Leicester at the moment. Leicester against Sale tomorrow with us on TNT1. Saracens against Gloucester later. They can move ahead of Bristol. Meantime, through the hands of Bradley, went backwards, and Quinn scored. Luke Northmore to mark his 100th game. The world seemed to stop temporarily, but not Harlequins centre.
I think the world stopped it because everybody thought there was a knock-on. This will show us again whether there was. Ball's off the top, a little pass out. I suppose it goes backwards, doesn't it?
Tries good.
It's clever play from Bradley. You used to see this a lot. You throw the ball along the floor, everybody stops, the defence breaks up, and then little dummy, it's a walk-in.
You didn't do it, did you?
Right, some place to mark your 100th game. Some tunnel to run out of, some pitch to run onto, some arena, some place to score a try. And the man who scored one of their dozen against Newcastle last weekend gets a second hit.
The defending is so used to defending. How the ball, when the ball's passed crisply, and it's a great move that, as Austin said, when it drops on the floor, I don't think even it's just is it a knock-on, but your rhythm's gone and you don't know whether it's going to, which way it's going to bounce. So you just hesitate for a fraction of a second, and as soon as it's picked up, you've given all the aces to the attacking side. It's very easy to say from up here with hindsight, you should just keep moving forward, keep defending as you are, but hesitation in sport kills you.
Brown Bampo, tackled by Murley. Yosefa Scott, he's enjoying the time of his life at the moment. Skinner, Chinza.
Tackle now. Out you come, Queens. No,
Battle for the ball on Harlequins' 10-metre line. Slade. Skinner. Woodburn. It was Anderson who went in to try to act as the disruptor, but not quite enough in the end. Slade as the first receiver, whips it out to Josh Yosefa Scott, who might fancy running it in from here, the way he's feeling at the moment. Ikitau, it's good to see him back on his feet and involved, and Jenkins once more, however, lost in the impact, and Harlequins will have the scrum. Just a reminder, by the way, having seen the top of the table, Saracens against Gloucester, the evening kickoff in North London, and we will have that on TNT2 from about 6:15.
Cheers, Bob.
And then tomorrow, Sunday afternoon's entertainment provided by Sale and Leicester, who can clinch their place in the top 4, 2:30, TNT1, all of it on HBO Max, of course.
Only the second scrum, just before half-time. Hobson penalised on the last one for running round. It's Harlequins put in this time.
Bind. Set.
CC right on his tiptoes there.
Smith, done brilliantly. Real options now. He was pointed to the right by Bradley, and it was Northmore the recipient. Bradley now goes in to be part of that clear-out crew. Cunningham South, what a fillip this would be for the hosts as we bear down on half-time. Smith, nice, not nice enough, but it wasn't far away from a hard-running hooker.
It's unlucky, wanted a bit more height on that, but this is an excellent break, isn't it? Friday runs really far, and then he just steps on the gas. I think if he goes left, they score. because the chasing guys on the left are forwards. I don't think they get there. I think the acceleration
Off the line, 5 in.
from Bradley takes him over, but I think just a decision to come to the right. It's almost like Bradley was pointing him the other way.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Maybe he sort of thought behind me is going to be forwards, because that's where the ball came from. So maybe a missed opportunity.
Into the 40th minute. It was a great contest. Andrea Zambonin winning it once again, the Italian for Exeter.
Right, use it. Stephen, play the ball.
We're picking our Gallagher PREM Player of the Season next week. Oh, it's wide open. We'll come back to that, because what about that? And what about that from Harlequins and from Elliot Williams? Not a try they were expecting from that position. But an 18-year-old just may have had one of the young moments of his life.
Well, Varney's reaction tells me he thinks this is a try. They're just seeing whether they're onside. Yes, the ball's lifted.
Such a low trajectory kick from Varney, isn't it? He's got a lot of time, but look at the angle of the kick. Does he get there first? Here we go.
I think it's separation on the left hand, but is his right hand still on it?
I think you give that. You give that. I think in the benefit of the doubt, you give that.
Yes.
Really unclear on the screen in the ground whose hand is whose and who presses down first, or whether it's simultaneous. So I'm going to leave this one to you to come back to me.
Oh, there's a little bit of separation there, isn't there, on that left hand?
Like you said, is the right hand also on it?
Just checking which hand, Matthew.
So that orange wrist tape.
I think you've got to give that in that angle.
Varney's left arm is inside the ball. It certainly looks.
Matthew, there is separation by Harlequin's hand. There is no try.
So the Harlequins player is the one who gets to the ball, but he makes contact and the separation and knocks the ball forward.
Correct. Yes.
So it'll be a goal line dropout.
Yes.
Okay, no try. The Harlequins player knocks the ball on. It's a goal line dropout.
Dean Richards' decision.
Goal line dropout.
And it means that 18-year-old Elliot Williams does not become the second youngest Harlequins try scorer in a Prem match.
Just the important thing there was the question that the referee asked the TMO was, their on-field decision was no try, knock on, so it had to be clear evidence that the try was scored, and on the on the balance of knowing that question, that's the right decision, isn't it?
Still great work from Williams in the first place to get the charge down. Another one of those players that they're having a good look at the end of this season. Doubtless building a future around next season and in seasons to come. Premiership debut this season, first starts this season, and we're seeing why. However, Exeter hanging on to that 10-point lead as we bear down on half-time, but there's still a little bit more defensive work to do as Williams again gets to work. Friday, Smith, no look pass to Bradley, powerful centre. Here's Northmore, likewise. Slade, purposeful in defence. Williams, he's been busy. Cunningham South, fed by Bradley.
Is that a good game, Cunningham South?
Bradley again, this time to Murley. London feet in touch. And that should be it for the first half. Busy first 40. Campbell Riddle and Stephen Varney out of the blocks very quickly for the visitors. Jack Kenningham replying for the hosts, and then Max Norrie and Len Ikitau combining to secure the fourth try, the bonus point securing try, before Luke Northmore. Just 2 spots in the playoffs left to be claimed now. Leicester and Exeter right now in the box seat. Leicester at Sale tomorrow. Exeter if they can secure the 5-point win here, will be 7, maybe 8 points clear of perhaps Saracens. Gloucester with their own targets as well in North London once we're done with this one. That's the early evening kickoff here on TNT Sports.
Back by White.
50% of the way to knowing who will be in the end of season Gallagher PREM playoffs. Right now, Exeter doing all they can to make sure that they'll be making up the quartet. What of Harlequins? No changes to either side at half-time, by the way, so still on the right wing for Quins. Cameron Anderson, as they fight their own battles to overtake Gloucester and go into the top 8 and think more and more about Champions Cup qualification next season. Hooper winning it back for Exeter and striding away. David Jenkins, the captain, named in Wales' big training squad this week ahead of their summer tests. But that top 4 just beginning to come into focus as we have a look at Scott Seo, who played in a World Cup final in 2015. He was part of the Wallaby team.
Quins,
beaten by New Zealand that evening here in London.
Thank you.
A Cardiff player next season.
Yeah, play on.
Short line out, whistled in by Riley. Go entirely to plan.
Bit of a gift.
Line out.
And kick the ball into touch. Exeter.
Hang on, chill. 6, thank you.
That Bath victory.
Thank you.
Almost looks
above the magic 62.
It always looks like Saracens are too far away, doesn't it? But still, it's still in their hands potentially.
No, 12. 12.
Look at the permutations as this second half wears on, but let's keep our focus very much on what's happening on the pitch at the moment as Skinner tries to release Woodburn.
Off the ball, Quins, get off the ball. Yeah.
Hooper. Ross Vincent takes on the tackling shoulders of Bryn Bradley.
Knock on, 13.
There's Henry Slade. 168 Prem start today, by the way, breaking Ian Witten's club record.
I saw the picture clearly. Your Lucid lost his shape. In the second one, didn't play away.
Chiefs' big win against Harlequins in October, central to really all they have been about.
Not for me, gents.
For so many years, Henry Slade. He's wondering if he'll be part of Steve Borthwick's wider England squad that will prepare for the summer tests. That's named on Monday. Last game here was in the autumn, missed out on the Six Nations.
Crouch!
He hopes he's still got an England future, Oz. What do you reckon?
Well, I think he's a different type of player, isn't he, to a lot of the other centres. Much more like another fly half in the backfield. He's got his kicking game, which arguably I can't think any of the other centres have got anywhere near the quality that he has off the boot. So there is a point of difference there. Big question, I think, in that 13 channel is how much gas do you need there? You need someone with absolute wheels or lots and lots of power.
50-22 possible.
So it's definitely in the reckoning. You've got Jancy van Rensbergen as well coming in. So
come on.
It's unlikely. I would imagine that Jancy van Rensberg will be part of Monday's squad just because he's not going to be qualified in time for the opening test of the summer against South Africa. But we'll see.
Playing players on.
What kind of machinations will be going on behind the scenes as Benson gives it some welly. Paul Brown-Bampo for Chiefs.
Enough now, enough.
Box kick's going to come. Brown-Bampo's only just got back to his feet. Chase again.
Unclear, but that was a knock-on, so we've got a knock-on advantage. Quins ball. Advantage
Smith
over.
Looking for a bit of space over the right shoulder of Woodburn. Woodburn's kick to Benson. Tyrone Green, Nick David, Cassius Cleves missing from the back three. Taken by Woodburn. Ben Hammersley, by the way, youngster, signing up for more this week. Hammersley recommitting his future to the Chiefs.
Backwards by Quins.
Looks like everyone's copying Bristol now with those wingers chasing back on the box kicks. Returning a lot more. Chance here if he keeps it alive.
Cameron Henderson doing the more conventional stuff, just running hard and well with the ball. Matthew Carley, evasive action to make sure that it could get through to Will Hobson. And now it finds Sam Riley, not for the first time, the hooker on this left side. Cunningham south, and then the burst through from Elliot Williams. Might have scored a try in the first half, very much part of a try in this second. Caden Murley for Quins, and they still very much part of this big game chat.
It's all come from a brilliant initial break from Cameron Anderson. Had no right from the touchline to get away from Harvey Skinner, but he goes back towards his line to give himself the space. Look at him, back to everyone, goes back towards his line, rounds Harvey Skinner, and then he gets inside Norrie, straightens up, and then he's put his team firmly on the front foot. And as they race back down that touchline, Exeter just run out of bodies in defensive position, and Murley with the easiest of walk-ins.
I think the Quins players will be back now behind the halfway line, just saying, let's start to stretch them. They're starting to look a little bit tired, the Chiefs. They weren't getting back into defensive positions that quickly then. Let's keep stretching them. This is game on now. Especially if that goes over.
No. It's a big try for Caden Murley, though. Look at that. He's just overtaken Mike Brown's Quins Prem best. Danny Kerr now, the only player who scored more. DC with 83, Caden Murley now 57.
It's really nice handling as well, isn't it, to hold defenders. But Exeter just lost all their ability to get set quickly enough to put any line speed at all. They just ran out of numbers. A lot of that due to the crispness of some of those forwards passing, making sure that it was done at the right time as defenders bit in on them.
Rob Baxter's waiting to have a chat with us. We'll let this latest passage of play unfold before we bring in Rob. Here goes Ollie Woodburn over halfway. There's Zach Carr over the top trying to slow things down, but Exeter had ball to conjure with, but don't go far with it. We will have a scrum. What's uppermost in your mind right now, Rob?
Clear up in the background to see if it's deliberate. I can't see there's too many players.
Rob, what's uppermost in your mind right now?
Cheers.
Well, it's kind of getting back to us establishing what we want to do, really, more than... You know, we talked at half-time that the danger from Quins actually is them creating the broken field, the counter-attack. So they don't mind getting to that kick backwards and forwards, and then they'll have a go before we do. And it's almost we've got to try and get excited about when we give them the ball, when we do have to kick, is get excited for that first couple of phases. If we do, I think then we can start to control the game. But what we don't want to do is what happened there, which is where, you know, in the end there's broken field, and then they get to open their attack up. So really, it's about us being comfortable being ourselves, getting excited when we give them the ball, and move from there.
Rob, you mentioned before the game the shorter turnaround this week. In that try you just conceded, there was about 5 forwards that starting to look quite tired. It's been quite an arduous first 50 minutes. Is the plan to bring them off earlier, introduce the bench a lot earlier because of the short turnaround?
I'm really sorry, guys. There's someone else talking on this line, like the director or something. I can hardly hear you.
Don't worry, Rob. We will.
I'm really sorry. There's someone talking over the top of you. I can hardly hear you.
His name's Daniel. He's very annoying.
To be honest, it wasn't a great question from Austin, so we'll save you having to answer.
Sorry about that, guys.
Cheers,
Thank
Rob.
you.
Benny, just clear up what we've just seen.
Well, just a deliberate knock-on. The original decision was a knock-on only. Referee said he was unsighted because of all the traffic that was in the way, and TMO's come back in and said it was a penalty, so that's put Exeter on the front foot.
And Varney and Co will try to make the most of that. Ross Vincent tucks it under his arm as he goes to the ground. Skinner, Hooper, Norrie. Loose ball, and Dombrandt got his foot involved. And Riddle going all the way back to his own back garden. And running into Dombrandt, which is an occasionally hazardous decision.
No, clearly not.
Josefa Scott. We say his name with a smile on our face every time we mention him at the moment.
Use it.
Such a, even, I mean, all he did there was truck it forward a metre, but we're still smiling.
Another great weight of kick.
Tap back nicely by Friday, and he has it again and finds Smith. And Bradley was calling for Smith to do what he did, and Smith leads the charge of his own kick. Woodburn. And just enough juice to find touch.
10 metres.
However,
play on.
Quinn's going quickly. Riley. Taken on by Williams.
It's worth keeping an eye on some of those big bodies that Austin was talking about, getting back into position after a little line break.
Bradley. Zach Carr. First Premiership start in the second row for Zach Carr today, alongside equally youthful Elliot Williams. Cunningham South on the blind side flank. Bradley again taking the hit. Smith just beginning to find some rhythm, Harlequins, and Exeter well aware of what they can do when that begins to happen. The dozen tries, record-breaking number of tries scored up at Kingston Park last weekend. Record high number of Prem points. And now Harlequins, most phases in this match,
Backwards,
11 of them. But that's
dropped,
where it ends. Ball fell in front of David Jenkins, and Exeter can wallop it away. And Chris Chinza chasing hard.
He's in the air, unfortunately.
Timing, he's in the air, timing. Just a penalty, timing.
There's a lot of tired players out there, Nick.
Really
just worth pointing out, actually, a lot of the players were saying, as they were coming out, the pitch, I know it sounds silly, but the grass feels a little bit longer than it usually does. And that can fatigue you a little bit quicker. Just that extra spring in the grass.
Nothing clear, Matthew.
So if that is the case, and they are starting to fatigue, you'd think it might play into the team that wants to attack and wants to take on some of those bigger forwards with their more live runners.
Brilliant piece. Craig this morning, who was moonlighting, showing off with his football showbiz mates ahead of the FA Cup final. You may have seen him down on his belly at Wembley, telling us that Wembley turf is normally trimmed to 24mm, Benny, but for the cup final and one day only each year, it's trimmed to 22mm. I'd like to know how many millimetres high is this Twickenham turf?
At least 30, didn't it?
Is this what we've come to?
Yes, I'm interested in this.
What length do you trim your grass to?
Don't blame me, Benny.
As short as I can get it.
Oi, you brought this up, Kay. Don't side with Healy. You brought it up. Anyway,
backwards off white.
We're going to try and find out how long the mowers are raised to ahead of a match like this. Meantime, let's concentrate on what we're here for, the rugby. Sorry, Benny, that sounded a little bit aggressive. It wasn't meant to be.
Just saying the players might.
No, I love what you were saying. It was great. I added to it. Austin came in unnecessarily.
Use it.
We could have a league table of the length of grass of stadiums around the world.
These things are important. In the meantime, there have been some replacements. I've no idea who's come on because I was arguing with you two, but I'm sure you can see for yourself.
I think the back pitch at Birkenhead Park was a good 50mm at least.
I genuinely, there are the players who've come off, Josh Josefa Scott and Scott Sear. I remember coming here for the first time in the 19th century, and you genuinely couldn't see the players' ankles. The grass was that long. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen we've got a good standard on the
these days.
Nice and patient for the set call.
Joseph Dwebber on at hooker. Max Norrie's been replaced, so the entire front row. Dwebber, Ethan Berger, and him, Buchuki Chumbadza, have come on to enjoy this Allianz Stadium turf that is trimmed to 30mm. Breaking news, Benny.
Told you, I said. I could see.
You did. You're brilliant.
Thank you.
very own Alan Titchmarsh.
Well, you don't need the second part of his name.
Smith.
What, Lamb?
Bradley. Tackled by Skinner.
We've got to lift the ball.
That's a great kick. Really good kick. If it kicks left, yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
That's what you've got to do. You've got to get the opposition pack running backwards to the ball and try and pick up the tempo. That's where I think Quins arguably have had a slight upper hand, the tempo of their play.
Time off. 12 and 14 Exeter.
Exeter about to reintroduce Manny Feu-Iboso to all this fun. First came back after a head injury in the Challenge Cup semi-final against Ulster. You may remember him colliding with Jacob Stockdale. He will absolutely have an eye on that England training squad that's named on Monday. Feu-Iboso on for Paul Brown-Bampo, and Will Hayden-Wood, I think, has come on as well.
Brown-Bampo's been very good in the air, but it won't get any easier for Harlequins now. Real strength of the game.
Will Hayden-Wood has come on for Len Ikatal, by the way. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, enough. You're not
huge strength of the game of Feu-Iboso.
Both of you, but you're off.
One of the reasons why you see as so integral to Steve Borthwick.
Here he goes, up in the air for the first time. What height he got to find Zambanin, and his second touch is to drive it over halfway. Benson brings him down well, but Chinza, as Chiefs look for some momentum here. Dombrand flew out of the defensive line to get in the eye line of Henry Slade, who felt that that was the best option. And Northmore clips it away up to halfway.
Well, we mentioned how good he is in the air. Look at the hang time he gets here. Eyes on the ball, time to perfection. Gets the hand and then bounces straight back to his feet to take the resulting offload from Zambanin.
Hang on, time off.
He's a dangerous runner, isn't he? I don't think there's a more dangerous runner in the league than him. Very difficult to put down, very powerful, low centre of gravity.
You next time, or I'll question you when you make a mistake. Okay?
Dwebber to Zambanin. 5-point game as a result of Caden Murley's try at the start of this second half. Penalty against Alex Dombrand. And then Hayden Wood's first big contribution.
Number 8, side entry.
I'm not sure. I'd like to see this again, see if it was side entry, because Matthew Carley and Dombrand were having an argument at the line-out before this. So let's just watch. That's not side entry, is it? Is it now? I don't think that is. I think he's had an argument with him before, and he's felt a little bit aggrieved at the way he's been spoken to and reacted. I think that's harsh.
It's very borderline, isn't it? Is he slightly ahead of his own player? Needs to come in from behind Cunningham South.
Very, very harsh.
Doesn't actually affect it that much, does he?
Exeter's line-out operation running smoothly. Harlequins not throwing players in the air to challenge, but that's 11 from 11 now. And Joseph Dwebber, the South African, looking to profit.
Advantage, side entry, number 2.
Another penalty. Sam Riley picked out. Slade, ooh, you could see how close he was to connecting with Woodburn.
Advantage.
Woodburn does well to keep this alive, however, and then intercepted very nearly by Smith.
Genuine two-handed attempt to catch the ball.
Well, they knew they had the advantage, so they could speculate with that pass over the top. Woodburn does so well to keep that alive. He's starting to become a revelation as a fullback, isn't he? Been really good for them.
Yeah, the power that he makes those extra 3 or 4 yards allows Varley to come onto the ball.
If they get forward momentum,
at least have a go
entry.
at the pass.
Number 2. Be careful.
The maul to me looked like it was going towards the line there. Surprised the backs didn't join in.
We'll see what develops, okay? Time off. 5, 7 and 9 replacement. 5, 7 and 9.
Quins 5, 7 and 9 are Elliot Williams, Jack Kenningham and Lucas Friday. Johnny Green's coming into the second row. Seb Driscoll into the back row for Kenningham, and Will Porter coming on at scrum half, continuing his return from injury. First game in 4 months last Sunday, and the big win up at Newcastle, and now here he is at the big stoop. And the first job is to defend this latest Exeter line-out. 12 from 12 throw-wise. Chins of the target. Next target, the try line, about 7 or 8 metres away. Very nearly there. Oh, Dwebber. Blades of grass away. Varney picks it up. Down that shorter blind side. What has Matthew Carley seen? Ball held up. It's Chumbatsa who did what he could, but not quite enough.
We all know what Dombrand can do with ball in hand. Here's the initial drive from Dwebber, gets so close, does really well to react and pull it back so they don't lose it.
This is really close, isn't it?
How many millimetres away do you reckon he is?
About 30.
About 30, I reckon, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, on we go.
Dombrand did such a good job. He is so good at defending on the line, Dombrand. Often gets his body under the ball and stops the grounding.
Varney. Quality of Quinn's tackling over the last few seconds. Luke Northmore with the latest, and it leads to moments like that.
Holding on.
Big hits like that can turn games, Nick. Stepping off the line. Here's the early one.
Keep believing, let's go.
That's a proper collision, that.
There's Ollie Streeter, the replacement tight head. And then Northmore.
One Quins.
Decent kick here now.
After the kick.
And then all the noise in the stadium should lift the team. It's just outside the 22, isn't it? A long way out.
Careful on your entry as well.
Feels like this game's going to be decided by territory, doesn't it? Who plays more in the opposition half?
Jason Gilmore making more changes, this time at loosehead. Boris Wenger, part of Argentina's effort here in the autumn, replacing Will Hobson. There's Wenger.
Play on.
Dombrand. Simplest of line-outs. Wenger holds on to the ball in the collision. And now Bradley. Murley. Here's Benson. Just an acceleration in what Harlequins are about, and Will Porter won't slow things down. Riley, Smith, look how quick they have to be though. Look at those white shirts pouring through.
They're so narrow, Exeter. They had to be though. They've done the right thing to stay narrow, but the line speed's so good. They scare Harlequins out of going wider.
On the ball.
And Cunningham South held up. Quinn's quick kick. In the middle of all that, the work and the running of Ollie Streeter, who's come on and is making some big early impressions as a replacement.
Yeah. He's not here yet.
Big throw this.
4, 5. Stay there, Quins. 5.
They'll put pressure on Dwebber's throw here if they can, Quins. Try and mark the front if I were them. I don't.
Why are you not competing just there, Ben?
Well, they've obviously thought they've read the movement, but Dwebber's not the strongest thrower.
Make sure you're onside. Come on.
And I think if I'm sort of calling against that, I'm making him go long. The new laws around not competing means it's easier to throw to the back than it used to be, but
this is brilliant from Benson. Benson to Porter. Porter for the corner. And this this match beginning to hint that it may have a conclusion that'll keep us all occupied.
Well, it's a game-breaking break from Benson, but it's the ability to slow down and recognise where his support is that creates the try. Porter takes all the credit for the score, but Benson was sensational. We just see him step back on the inside. He's got a little bit lucky with the ball and the bounce. It pops back up, it goes back to the short side, accelerates. Now watch, he jams the anchors on, slows down, almost stops, just waits for Porter to get there, and he's got the acceleration onto the ball to score. And now the Quins have got a kick to take an unexpected lead.
Well, in terms of the top 4, in terms of the top 8, that might be an enormous score.
We've mentioned a couple of times about fatigue in the big bodies. Few very stationary white shirts. And as soon as Faye Waboso was taken out with the pass, they just cut through, didn't they? Zambanin, Chunza, no one could lay a hand on them. Have Jenkins there as well.
Yeah, you look at the work rate. The work rate's there from those Chiefs forwards, but you can see the fatigue in their legs. They haven't quite got that extra bit of acceleration. I'm really surprised if Rob Baxter goes to the bench a bit more now.
24 all. And that's where Exeter stand. Remember that Saracens against Gloucester to come. Bristol, we think, they think, out of the top 4 equation now after the barbecuing that they got at the Gardens last night. But Saracens still potentially very much part of this.
Ball's live, ball's live.
Exeter at the moment are picking up 3 points for the draw and the bonus point securing try. But it remains very much up for grabs as Saracens arrive. 6:15 on TNT Sports 2. And Gloucester will know that if Quins win this, they're in a right old battle for the top 8 as well in Champions Cup next season. Just a reminder that Bath's big win against Newcastle a little earlier, securing their place in the playoffs. They've joined Northampton.
There's a bit of confusion between referee's assistant and referee. TMO will need to just check this. Does he pick it up inside or outside? He's inside, isn't he?
It's all okay, Matthew.
Yeah. Harlequins will throw in on their own 10-metre line.
Well, Exeter with 2 games left after this in the regular season. Leicester at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road in 2 weeks' time. And then Saracens at Sandy Park on the final day of the regular season. That's how important the remaining 13 minutes or so of this contest at Twickenham are for them.
Turnover. What a chance this is now.
Well, it's another big hit in the centres for Quins. It's Northmore again, makes that initial shot, gets him down early. And then the new man, Seb Driscoll, I think it was, who first got in over the ball.
Any idea what happened here, anyone?
Change on the wing. Cameron Anderson replaced by Rodrigo Iskro. Harlequins adding to their firepower as Ross Vincent twisted his ankle a little earlier, we think. That's the reason the Italian back row is in some pain. There's Iskro. Puma returning to the 23 after injury. You may remember the try here in powder blue and white last November.
Huh? No. Yeah, it's all right. No rush, no rush.
Getting back onto his feet, but he's going to be replaced by Finn Worley-Brady, 21-year-old, and that's when it hurt most. And then there was another one.
Oh, he gets just run friendly fire, isn't it?
Huh? I think he injured himself previous breakdown and tried running and fell over.
Well, there's Finn Worley-Brady, 21-year-old Premiership debut a couple of months ago. Exeter might be relieved if that's a serious-looking injury for Ross Vincent, and it doesn't look short-term. Chiefs will be relieved to have Ethan Roots seeing out the final game of his band this weekend. Greg Fissalau not far away from recovering from a knee injury. Both expected to be back and available for Leicester in 2 weeks' time. And out on the pitch, Quinn's decision, I think, is to go for the posts here and to take the lead for the first time.
Right. Good. Yes.
Well, none of us are medically trained up here, but the way that Ross Vincent's being carried off the pitch, that looks like it might be a season ender. We will hope not. Exeter will hope not. Marcus Smith for the lead, and maybe a giant step towards next season's Champions Cup, and a big spanner in Devon Works.
I just said a few minutes ago how field position is going to be so important in this game as to who comes out on top. Harlequins get a bit of time down in the extra half, force the penalty, take the points. They'll want to make sure their exit's really good. You saw Dombrandt there just pointing, kick it straight out. He wants the distance.
Use it.
Didn't happen, so they're going to have to just go through the process now. Here comes the box kick.
Safely into touch. So right now, Harlequins heading towards a bonus point win. They've scored the 4 tries. That's what it's doing to the top of the table. It's pulling Exeter with their 2 bonus points, still within closer reach potentially of Saracens. And at the bottom, Harlequins going ahead of Gloucester.
Zambanin's a real athlete in the middle of that line out, isn't he? Great target to hit. They set the drive up.
Varney. It was left by Will Hayden-Wood. Faye-Webese.
He's got it again.
You've got to balance yourself.
Chambadze. With that link. Varney, Slade, Hayden-Wood.
Onside.
Chiefs have got bags of time to sort this one out. 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's enough. Don't pull them off. Use it.
Hayden Murley just setting himself ready to chase this one back. Be that first catcher, try and block. Riddle does a good job.
Tackled by Chambadze.
Play. Use it. All right, play the ball.
Scrum half to scrum half to fullback.
See the difference in the kicking strategy. Harlequins just going for maximum distance and then trying to disrupt on the floor. Exeter trying to win the ball back in the air on those box kicks in the middle third of the field.
Benson.
No 18.
Seeking space. Woodburn to Skinner.
Hold.
And on we go with Porter.
It's too far.
Play when you want.
Right call by Cam Riddle.
We've got to take stock here, the Chiefs, haven't they? They've got to say, right, how are we going to get back into this? Because currently we've not been out of our half for the last 20 minutes. We've got to try and get some field position, and that's not going to help them.
Looks like he was surprised that Porter chased him down for the charge down.
Time off.
Quins have done well to keep Exeter scoreless since Len Ikitau's 4th try in the first half. All the second half points so far, all 13 of them, belong to the Londoners, and they have a 3-point lead as their captain takes some treatment. Player of the match shortlist, Oz.
It's quite a difficult one, actually, Nick. You could probably need space for 7 or 8 players today. I think that Cunningham South's carried particularly well for them. He's given them some real good go forward, and Dombrandt, as we've seen around the field, picking, making breaks, offloads, defensively, he's been everywhere. Marcus Smith has controlled field position, which has arguably got them back into the game in the second half. And then on the other side for the Chiefs, Hoop has carried very well, has been very, very physical, and Ollie Woodburn has just done everything that you need from a 15. So it might actually come from outside of one of those guys if someone can break this game down.
Sideways once.
8 minutes to go. Harlequins lead by 3.
No, he doesn't. Use it.
Only won 4 times in the Gallagher PREM so far this season. What a 5th would do. Bradley.
Thank you.
Marcus Smith saying go left. Porter doing that, picking out Evans. Wenger.
Your players are pinning him.
Next to give it a go is Seb Driscoll.
He put his foot out there.
I think he did, didn't he?
And it's gone forwards. Right now it's an Exeter scrum.
He trips him. Oh, he trips him. That's a yellow penalty.
Sweep with the foot, no arms. The tackle by White. 16, please.
And as that came up on the big screen behind the posts, every single Harlequins player on the pitch pointed up towards the big screen, which Matthew Carley will soon be having a look at.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
He's already made up his mind. And the great big Georgian wanders off for 10 minutes. That's probably his match, and well, the look on Rob Baxter's face tells a tale.
Marcus. Thank you. How many Quins?
It's not ideal, Nick, but in the context of the table, it's not that bad. You can still say it's in our hands. If we win our remaining 2 games, we will be in the playoffs.
6.
Albeit they've got to go to Welford Road and they've got to welcome Sarries. Not easy.
Still 6 minutes to go, still time.
Oh, good steer.
Sorry.
Murley.
Tackle. Let go.
Riley making sure that everyone outside him is lined up. One of those was Driscoll. Cunningham South thought he might be the option. He wasn't in the end, but now he picks it up. Feels like one of the most significant moments in Harlequins' PREM season so far, this. What a win would do to the colour of it in terms of where they will go next season in Europe. Chiefs defending the line for all they're worth. At the moment, they have a losing bonus point. That might be critical in terms of their top 4 ambitions.
Hooper's hands in front of the line there. He's got to be careful.
Now with Jenkins in the middle of it all.
Try. He's given the decision against Hooper.
Let go, get off Exeter.
Wenger went, he wasn't far away. Now they go wide, and now they score. And Will Evans knows, Harlequins know, Bachuki Chumbata knows that's the moment of the game. That might be the game.
Well, 2 big ball carriers, Dombrandt, Chandler Cunningham South run together. That gives them this field position. And then eventually it's very easy after they pummeled away at the line, didn't get anywhere. But it all comes down to Cunningham South and Dombrand down the same channel. Dombrand did so well to keep the leg drive, almost get there. Cunningham himself backed him up. Here we go. Little show back to the inside. Cunningham himself follows him. He takes it right to the line. And then they were patient. Exeter's defence was really good right up to the last play. And Marcus Smith steps back towards the defenders and then throws it over the top, holding that drift and making sure it was an easy walk in down the right touchline.
And the conversion is good, and the lead is 10. And Harlequins right now are doing to Exeter what they did to Gloucester in this fixture last season. They are putting a big, big dent in the hopes of playoff contenders.
Wait, you're offside, thank you.
And 2 losing bonus points a second or so ago have been trimmed to 1. Chiefs have brought on Ruti Tuima for Tom Hooper. Quins have changed hookers. Sam Riley for Jack Musk.
Not now, thank you.
2.5 minutes to go. Exeter have got to rescue something here. A man down with Chambata in the bin until the conclusion of this contest. What a second half this has been from Harlequins. 20 unanswered points. They trail by 10 at half-time. Now they lead by 10.
Backwards, play on. Backwards, play on.
Skinner. And Dweber. Skinner. And Zambanin. Hustles his way up to the 10-metre. Tuima.
No, Will. Play here.
Hayden Wood firing out to Slade, who's a little bit isolated, but he got mates around him quickly enough. Dweber. That's gone forwards.
Use it. No, use it.
80th minute.
Okay.
And Dombrand can do what he's doing right now. He can stand still for 60 seconds if he wants to.
Let go, it's a ruck form.
Obviously, Exeter just desperate to get the ball back. They won't be run into with any real meaning. Harlequins will just try and see that clock out. Exeter desperate for the ball back. They don't need a try, but they'd love another bonus point.
All right, Quinn, stay on your feet.
But they're not going to get their hands on this ball. Just hear the referee telling Harlequins they have to stay on their feet. Can't just flop over and seal off.
Use it. He hasn't got the ball. He missed it. Ball's out. It's nothing formed. Play on.
Taken on by Evans,
He's lost it.
Try looked like it had won it, but Chiefs still with Feo Aboso. He's lost it. Picked up by an Argentinian, and Rodrigo Isgro's hauled to the floor. What work that was from Chinza, who looks like he's done himself some mischief, galloping back. But with the clock in the red, there's still hope. Not now. All done. And a giant-sized South American, Boris Wenger, set South West London alight.
That's like giving a proper Christmas dinner for breakfast. How did he read this pass? The game was just breaking up all over the place, wasn't it? Hardy's coming away exhausted, throws the ball. Little short side, looking to put someone away. That is a brilliant read.
Even if it was, we can't check it because there's been like 3 changes in possession since then, yeah. Last sequence of play, that's all.
insult to injury for Chumbadza. His opposite number,
It was off his legs.
the man to put the final nail in the
I
coffin.
just explained to that, but I saw one clear one from Manny. I wasn't sure if there was anything else, but because the ball has changed hands on 7, no, you can't check it because it's the pass. The ball has changed hands. Once possession changes hand. Oh, and it was off the legs anyway, the TMO said.
Well, everyone's on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now. Marcus Smith's conversion. A proper fork in the road for both sides season. With this season running out,